Hello, welcome to another video. Before I start, you've probably seen the title of this video. So if you're thinking of commenting any mean things, please remember I am not making this video to make anyone mad or like to be anybody's enemy. I'm simply here to present data that I have collected and conclusions I have drawn. I'm just very interested in this topic, and so I did a lot of research and have now made a video about it. It is simply my data that I have collected. I did everything as fairly as I possibly could, so I'm just here to present that to you. This kind of thing cannot be like 100% scientifically narrowed down. There's a lot of like nuance. It's just data and observations that I have collected to show that we probably do need more diversity among video game characters. So now that I have done all the disclaimers, let's get into the actual video. So firstly, how did I come up with these numbers? How did I decide on them? My criteria was they had to be humanoid enough that they could possibly identify themselves on a US and UK census. So they couldn't be like humanoid aliens. It had to be as if they were walking, talking among us. I looked at the top 25 best-selling video games of 2020 in both the UK and the US. I picked 2020 because it was the year the pandemic started, and so video game sales went up. And so it just made sense to me. That was why I picked it. This is considering only digital sales because that was what I could find published most widely, because most places have like physical and digital sales separated. I considered both the main and secondary characters for all of these games, except I did not include sports games in this data because there aren't really any main and secondary characters. The games I did include in the data for the UK were Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, GTA 5, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Last of Us 2, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, and the games I included for the US statistics were Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Cyberpunk 2077, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. Sorry, I have now been joined by a dog. Carrying on. I can't read my notes. Okay. When I talk about this character data, I will be talking using gender binaries, so just male and female, because anything outside of that in video gaming is so marginal. It's sad, but it's not even worth like taking into consideration because it's so rare outside of that a best-selling video game has a character outside of the gender binary. So just want to bear that in mind. So now that that's out of the way, let's actually delve into the character data for these games. Among the characters I looked at for the UK games, there were a total of 261 characters. 116 of them were white men, so 44%. 20 of them were black men, so 8%. 19 of them were Asian men, 7%. 9 of them were Latino or Hispanic men, which made up 3%. 48 of them were white women, 18%. 12 of them were black women, 5%, 17 of them were Asian women, 7%, and 7 of them were Latino or Hispanic women, 3%. Men of other ethnicities or races outside of that made up 2%, women of other ethnicities and races made up 3%. So taking all those numbers into consideration, that means that men are making up 65% of video game characters, when the world population is split about 50-50. So men are already making up the majority of video game characters as it is. I just want to emphasize the big difference here between 44% of characters being white men and 8%, the next highest male ethnicity, black men being 8%. 44 to 8%. That's such a huge jump. And same with white women, the highest female demographic being 18%, and the next biggest female demographic being Asian women at 7%. 18% to 7% is wild. That is such a huge gap. So that was for the UK, and so now looking at the US's best-selling games and their characters, I looked at a total of 182 characters. 77 of them were white men, which made up 42%. 15 of them were black men, which made up 8%. 25 of them were Asian men, which made up 14%. 8 of them were Latino or Hispanic men, which made up 4%. 24 of them were white women, which made up 13%. 8 of them were black women, which made up 4%. 11 of them were Asian women, which made up 6%. And 6 of them were Latino or Hispanic women, which made up 3%. And men of other ethnicities and races made up 2%, and women of other ethnicities and races made up 3%. So out of these, men actually made up 70% of these game characters, which Quite a big majority there compared to the 50% of women actually existing in the world. And we have the same issue here as we had with the UK statistics, that there is such a big gap between the quantity of white characters and the quantity of any other demographic. Like 42% of characters were white men, whilst the next highest demographic of characters was Asian men at 14%. That's almost a 30% difference. 42%, that is almost half of the game characters in these best-selling games. And that is just the quantitative data based around race and ethnicity. I also have a couple of stats for other marginalized groups and their representations within these games. So among these characters, only 4% of them were outwardly shown to be part of the LGBTQIA+ community, and only 2% of them were notably disabled. Obviously, we can see straight away that there is a big lack of balance between both gender and also a lack of diversity amongst ethnicities in video game characters. And representation for communities like the LGBT community and also the disabled community are pretty low. For instance, to have only 2% of your characters be openly disabled, particularly when one survey has indicated that around 22% of the UK population has some form of disability, 2% just doesn't quite match up to that. And that's the thing, I think that's very important to note, that when people ask for more representation in video games, a particular demographic of people see it as like whining or unnecessary, when really it's just representing real people. It's not asking for a huge amount, it's just asking for accurate representation of people that exist. Disabled people exist, queer people exist. Like, it's not asking for special treatment, as a lot of people like to put it. It's just asking to see real selves represented in these games. Also, I think it's important to note that these numbers can only show things in a quantifiable way. They can only represent things in a numerical, statistical way. It won't necessarily show how these characters are represented. Are they good representations? Are they tropes? Are they stereotypes? So I want to bear that in mind, that, say, even if we had a huge diverse of characters in games, it's also important to remember how these stories are being told and who by. For instance, let's think about how women are often represented in video games. And I will admit it has got better in recent years, but I think it's important to acknowledge that there has been many, many years where women have been represented in video games to appeal to a straight male audience. And so, for instance, with that, like, even if we did have 50% female, 50% male characters in video games, maybe so, but are they good representations of women? Are they diverse representations of women? Are they multifaceted characters? Or are they just there to appeal to a male gaze because that's who game companies think are buying their games? Just want to throw out that little nugget, little open-ended question. Just something to think about. However, I do think analysing how underrepresented characters are shown in games could be a whole video on its own. So I'm trying to just stick to like the quantity and numbers in this video. But it's just something important to keep in mind, you know. We should be critical of the characterizations of marginalised groups within media anyway, especially in gaming, which has long been dominated by white men. Which leads me on to my next point. It's common knowledge that the game industry has for many years been a boys' club, particularly a white straight boys' club. So I wanted to also look at the lack of diversity within the games industry itself, and how does that reflect the characters we've been getting, and also how does that reflect the player base in itself? How does that align with the characters that are in these games, and also how does it reflect the player base of the people playing these games? A report from the International Game Developers Association in 2021 found that 75% of game employees identify as white. 75%, 3/4 of the games industry. And alongside that, numbers of gamers who identify as people of color are increasing. It means that the industry in no way reflects the player base playing and purchasing these games. One study found that kids of color between the ages of 8 and 18 play roughly 30 more minutes per day than their white counterparts. And another study in the US found that people of color will be the majority of video game players by 2030. But the industry itself doesn't seem to be showing that same trajectory of catching up with this demographic. Studies have shown that the more diversity you have in the workplace, the more diverse your work becomes. So, for example, more diversity within the employees at your games company mean more diverse characters, more diverse settings, more diverse opinions, and more fair representation. So it really starts from the top. It starts from the employees, it starts from the managers, it starts from HR, it starts from all that. de&i initiatives really help with this. They help get more underrepresented people into the games industry, and therefore, ideally, the trickle-down effect is that then we get more diverse games. I feel like I could talk about the disabled community and their representation in both games and media for hours, but it's such a big topic in itself that once again, it would take up a whole video on its own. And it's also so hard to talk about getting disabled representation in games when there's still so much pushback from the community on disabled people even having the access to play games. There have been countless times when accessibility features have been implemented into games and the community's gone wild of like saying it makes the game easier, or it's cheating, or like playing on easy mode is the wrong way to play games, when really it's just making games more accessible for people. How can disabled people see ourselves represented in media that a chunk of us can't even participate in because of a lack of accessibility features, both in-game and within hardware? Overall, I know and I hope that we are capable to push for more diversity in game characters. We're the consumers, we dictate what makes money and what sells. I'm not saying you don't have to not buy or play your favorite game because its casting isn't diverse. My favorite game series of all time is BioShock, which is all white characters and always starring a male character saving a female character in some way. So not the most diverse and not the best representation, but I think it's important to think critically about these things and ask game companies to do better, ask game companies for more. We have to think critically and think about whether a diverse range of people is being represented, and if they are they being represented well? A crucial part of this is making studios realize that they need to do better and demanding that they do better, and just being really loud and annoying about it. And believe me, I know that there are people out there that don't want change, or don't think it's necessary, or think it's silly, but it is necessary. It's not fair. I think an angel loses its wings every time I get a man in my replies telling me having disabled characters in games would be boring, or that having women protagonists is too political. I do want to tear my eyelashes out every time I hear that one. Game characters do not currently reflect their audience, and the numbers show that. And I'm hoping maybe I do another one of these for like 2022 or 2023, and hopefully it will have improved. So we'll see. Progress is being made. It's just really freaking slow. And to make it go faster, we have to criticize, and we have to ask for it, we have to demand it. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I know that it's probably been a very long one and possibly a little overwhelming with all the numbers and statistics and all that kind of stuff and all the info. I researched this for almost 8 months. So I imagine it's going to be a very information heavy video, but I've tried my best to keep it kind of chill and kind of fun. So if you enjoyed this, I'd really appreciate you subbing, maybe giving a little thumbs up to help with the algorithm, maybe leave a little comment below of your thoughts, nice thoughts. And thank you again for making it this far. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I see you next time. Goodbye!